Welcome to the Better Together podcast, where we look for ways we can work together to advance the gospel of Jesus Christ. Today we have with us Derek Altom, a regular on the Better Together podcast.
Let's go.
He's here to talk about Vertical Three, and so Derek, welcome back to be with us today.
Listen, I haven't been on in a while. I was thinking I did something wrong.
Well, you were correct on that, but because of the love of Jesus, we still bring you in. So
We're forgiving.
We are forgiving. We are forgiving. And so, hey, we're excited about Vertical Three and Kansas City.
Yeah.
Good food. Good everything. So talk to me a little bit about, what can we expect in Kansas City with Vertical Three this year?
Yeah, I think I say this probably every time we're together when we get to talk about Vertical Three. I think the national convention, the Vertical Three conference, is probably one of the favorite things that I get to be a part of in what I get to do with D6 Family, just because it's like a big family reunion and it's an intentional time for us to invest in the youth of our movement on a more broad scale. Yeah. And so, our theme for Vertical 3 2025 is Stand Tall, taken from Daniel chapter 3. And it's really going to pick apart the mission of Vertical 3. The mission of Vertical 3 is to help students develop their leadership, discover their talents, and to dedicate their hearts to faithful service to the Lord. So our three Sunday night, Monday night, and Tuesday night sessions are really going to unpack those three things. But one of the things we're really excited about is we're going to do Sunday morning a little bit different this year.
Yeah.
We're going to have a joint service with the adults on Sunday morning, which I think is a really cool thing, kind of intergenerational, worshiping together, truth and peace, like they usually do for us on Sunday morning. They're going to be teaching that joint Sunday school, which I think is really cool for the adults of our movement to kind of see our present and our future leaders in our church. And so we're excited about doing that joint service with you guys in the adult worship and having truth and peace teach Sunday school, and excited for the worship service to follow.
Yeah. Absolutely. So if you've ever been at the Sunday school service at the National, there's usually one going on, the youth service is happening as well as the adult service. Yeah. And we're like, you know what? Let's bring those two groups together. And so the thing that's a little different with Truth and Peace, and when they do Sunday school, it's not just one Sunday school teacher, is it?
That's right. No, we'll have three different students kind of unpacking the D6 Family Ministry lesson for that day. And it's just a cool opportunity just to see the Lord using the gifts and the talents and what he's put in these students. Give them an opportunity to kind of develop that a little bit in a safe environment and just really be encouraged about the future of our movement. Yeah.
It's exciting. So we want to encourage people to be there for that. It's not a bad way to do Sunday school either.
No, it's really not.
Each one of them has a point. Yeah. And he does that particular lesson. It'll be a little different.
It'll be different.
Bigger room this year, than even though it is a pretty big room usually from where they do it. And then he'll tag off, and then the next one. And so then after that, we've got the joint service. So we'll all come together Sunday morning to worship. And I think our listeners probably know Aaron Pontius will do that message. So
that'll be good. And just to be clear, there still will be V3 preschool, V3 K1, 2, and 3, and V3 4, 5, 6. They'll have their kind of separate things that morning. It'll just be V3 teen and the adults kind of joining and worshiping together.
So the young folks, the younger folks, they'll still have a place to go.
That's right.
And then in the main session, we'll have our teens. They'll be there. We'll also have the adults, and we'll have Aaron Pontius speaking from Jeremiah 29 on answer the call to accept your mission that God's given you, and talking about that passage where we're called to build, plant, and then seek the peace of the city. Yeah. So he'll really kind of draw us all together. Then we'll go our separate ways on Monday night.
Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Yeah, so Sunday night we're going to kick off the V3 conference with I am missionary to Columbia, Missouri, at the University of Missouri, Bradley Mercer.
Yes,
he's going to be unpacking that discover your talents portion of our mission from 1 Corinthians chapter 12.
Yep.
How we all have different gifts in the body of Christ that can be used. On Monday evening, we're going to have a gentleman named Dale Hudson, who is kind of outside of our ranks a little bit. He's a very frequent speaker at the D6 conference every year in Orlando. Kind of a leadership guru, has built really good teams everywhere he's been, and he's going to be zeroing in on developing your leadership. And he's really going to be keying in on that Philippians chapter 2 passage on how Christ emptied himself, taking the form of a servant. We're really going to be talking a lot about servant leadership on Monday evening. And then on Tuesday night, NAM missionary to Missoula, Montana, Josh Hampton, is going to be kind of unpacking that dedicate your heart to faithful service to the Lord. And he's going to be unpacking the passage from 2 Timothy where Paul's kind of writing his final words, and he's talking about finishing his race and running his course, and how he kind of left it all out there, and just in dedication to the Lord. And so we're excited about those 3 sessions, along with yet leading worship at all of those, and we're just excited what the Lord's going to do in these sessions for sure.
And then on Wednesday night, we'll all come back together. We'll have Joel Teague speaking to us. He's from France. Some of you know he's a missionary there. He'll be speaking from Jonah chapter 4, and really we're challenging folks to think about whether God would have you go overseas or think about what you can do to reach people in your own area. It's interesting. Joel has actually, his wife, if we had not sent missionaries to France, he wouldn't have a wife. And, wouldn't have a family in that way. So he'll be presenting that from Jonah chapter 4, where the Lord ends that with the question like, are these people do not really matter? So it's going to be a great conference.
Yeah. And on that night, Wednesday night, V3 preschool will still be meeting.
Yes.
But kindergarten all the way through high school will be involved in that service as well. So we're excited.
Then when that service is over, it's going to be the Derek time.
No,
right?
I don't know about that. It's the CTS Ministry Expo Awards time, where we get a chance just to honor the talent that the Lord has given these students in our movement, and how they've put that on display all week during the expo, and just kind of celebrating those students a little bit. And our team will get a chance to give trophies and high fives, and just we'll get a chance to applaud these students for sure. Yeah.
So maybe some of our listeners are thinking, well, my kids are not participating in CTS, Church Training Service, or they should still go to V3, shouldn't they?
They absolutely. There's going to be seminars from all of our different agencies, very practical how-to things that they could, the parents and the volunteers could partake in. And then it's really cool just to take your students to watch these competitions.
Yes.
Because you never know what might spark inside of them to say, hey, I could do that, or I want to do that. And just the benefit, you and I have talked about this before, the benefit of just seeing 1,000+ teenagers who are just like me, who love Jesus, who want to be salt and light in their world, whatever that looks like, whatever their world looks like. And it's just a really good time of refreshment and encouragement and challenge, just to kind of stay connected to the faith for sure.
So bring your kids, maybe take some of them to some of the CTS competitions. They may get some ideas, but like we've talked about in the past, I'm not the only person following the Lord.
Sure.
It's also a good way to make good Christian friends in that setting. Now, the V3 conference isn't free. This costs money, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. And, we talk in our office, we wish we could make it free.
Yes.
But unfortunately, space and, the different pieces of equipment we have to pull off CTS, and all the different things that go into that, and the V3 conference itself. So if you are partaking in the Vertical 3 conference, if you pre-register, it'd be $40 a person. And if you wait and kind of register on site, that'll go up to $50. So there's a little bit of incentive for you to kind of get that done ahead of time. And again, we wish it could be free, but money makes the world go round a little bit. But we promise we're as good stewards as we can with the funds the Lord has given us, and we're just trying to make it as affordable for our families as we can, for sure.
And we should point out, even with that fee, which you say, oh, that's a lot of money, it still will not pay for the cost of the conference. And so it's just a way to try to offset so we can keep having. V3. So we encourage you also think about giving throughout the year to D6 Family Ministries.
Yeah.
And then you talk a lot about putting this in perspective. If I were to go to a ball game or any of the rest.
That's true. Like my oldest son played one summer of travel baseball just kind of here in the Nashville area, and there were fees on every tournament that their team entered. But then when my wife and I showed up at the game to watch the game, we still had to pay to get in. Yeah. And so it's really not a lot different. And if you think about paying $40 for a conference that runs Sunday morning through Wednesday night, that's very, very cheap.
Yeah.
And so we get it's a sacrifice, especially if you have a bigger family or a larger group. And we appreciate your faithfulness and your fundraising and all those things. And listen, because of some D6 heroes this year who kind of heard our report at the National last year in Tampa, who have kind of stepped up to the plate, we're able to kind of keep costs as low as we can because we've had some donors really come through and say we want to invest in the next generation of our movement. So that's d6hero.com if you wanted to do a leadership development gift to our ministry, which does help things like the Vertical Three Conference.
That's great. And, of course, we need to mention the curriculum. So you're listening, thinking about V3 and thinking about all that happens. It really does all tie back to the curriculum. So we encourage you to look, make sure you're using that in your churches, make sure you take full advantage of it, the devotional guide and all the rest of it. So all comes together and it really makes a difference.
And if I could add one thing on that. So I think a lot of times people think you have Truth and Peace and you have Yet and you have CTS and you have Vertical Three and you have the Vertical Three Conference, that these are all kind of separate ministries. But what a lot of folks don't realize, these are all sub-ministries underneath the umbrella of D6 Family Ministry. So when you support D6 Family Ministry, whether that's buying curriculum or books or attending conferences or being a D6 hero, it helps all of those ministries that the Lord has given us to do.
That's great. Yeah. Well, we appreciate you stopping by again.
Let's go. My picture should be on the wall in here somewhere.
Some people might disagree with that, but we'll put it under consideration.
I did get a fresh haircut for this interview today.
And it looks good.
Thank you.
It looks very good. So a little shiny, but it's got a good look to it.
That's good.
Well, thank you for coming in to be with us today, Derek, and thank you, our listeners. Please take this podcast, share it with someone that you think would benefit. Remember, every little thing we do, it really does matter. We truly are better together. Thank you.